It's a beautiful morning, a beautiful Wednesday. But when you wake up at a time that the heat was really disturbing you over the night, and you just wake up very early or late, you know how it feels. So a beautiful morning to you out there. It's a Wednesday, the 27th December 2023. I almost said 24. I'm really eager to get into that new year, and I'm sure you are too. I hope you had a splendid time with us yesterday, and today is going to be another wonderful time. But please, as much as possible, let's go about our duties well and make sure those children are well taken care of before you leave home, because they need something to keep them well preserved, well loaded, and well needed at home. If not, they'll be roaming around. Please. And if you are leaving your children at different spots, different places, make sure they are in safe hands. It's family and values, and we are all ready and here to make your day a beautiful start. I'm not here alone, but my name is Olori AJ, and Joy Girl is right here with me.
Good morning. I love the way you said Joy Girl is here. It gives me this sensation of being loved this morning. I walked in and the love was just there. Good morning. Yes, it's family and values. It's a Wednesday, of course, a very beautiful one at that. The roads are becoming a bit busier. Work has resumed. Yes, we have been here we have no holiday, but then for some people, work has resumed. Family and values is where we bring you all you need to know about values in our family and culture and how to live your daily life. Of course, we are streaming across all our social media platforms. Please do follow us so that you don't miss episodes and exciting talks like this. Okay, Big Sis, you're looking all good, Olori, this morning.
I'm copying you. If you notice, there's yellow on your outfit, and there is yellow. And what our producer was also Wednesday, so it's all yellow glazes this morning.
We had a plan of touch of yellow.
Maybe. Then let's wait for another big Mama P. Let's see whether there will be yellow in our outfit.
Then we know that we actually want according to our minds.
And don't forget, Wednesday is all about ladies.
Yes, Wednesday is ladies. We are crushing on ourselves.
Like somebody say, treat your woman like a queen. So the program start off with Joy.
Yes, treat your woman like a queen, like Olori has said. The meaning of Olori is a queen anyway. And Joy is there to give you all the joyous moments you need on family and values. Don't worry, we have a very handsome man seated, and today's topic, don't worry, we are giving you something that when you step into the new year, you remember that family and values actually said this.
Enjoy his voice, and our topic is setting goals. Setting goals. He's none other than David Olumuyiwa. Okay, he's a brother, he's a friend, he's a man of the word, he's a solution architect, okay, and he's a writer. When this guy writes, he's coming up with something big come 2024. But I want you to wash out, not watch. Watch out for it. Don't wash it. Watch out for it. Be on the lookout, and I'm sure you'll not be disappointed. So, David, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. I appreciate the fact that you came quite early, and
he came quite early.
He came quite.
Do you know God has deposited many things inside this young man? Okay, welcome us with a tone. Welcome us with a tone.
With a tone. Okay. I'm so glad to be here. This is my first time on this show, and I really appreciate my aunt. She's a big sister to me, and also a friend, as she has stated earlier. So I'm so glad to be in your midst this morning, and to also share, because our family is something that I have at the foundation of every book I wrote. Right from the first that has to do with parental influence, and also working towards another one on purposeful family. So family is key to everything in the society. If the family is out of place, then everything will be out of place. So yeah, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
So glad
Of
to be
course,
here.
you are sitting among pretty ladies. You're honored. You're blessed. Welcome to the show.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
welcome.
Thank
It's
you
so
very
good to
much.
have you.
Thank
Now,
you.
setting goals, that's our topic, like I said. Setting goals. As an individual, as a family, as a man, as a woman, as a wife, as a husband, as an aunt, as an uncle, as a brother, as a sister. Setting goals. You know, there are goals and there are goals.
Yes.
Which one needed to be, really put in place when you're setting goals?
Okay. For me, I think when it talks about setting of goals, I look at it in an acronym called SMART. So a goal must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, it must be relevant and time bound.
Okay.
Yes. So SMART is just an acronym for it. So one needs to be really specific about it. When we look at the secular world, the business world, there is what we call key performance index, and key performance index always comes with a metrics. So whatever you are trying to achieve, there must be something you are trying to measure it against. And then when you are trying to set up a goal in the area of it being achievable, you take stock of it probably by half of the year to know exactly where you have arrived on that particular target. And when you know that what you have set is not in line with where you are meant to be at that moment, then you might need to review those plans and try to take the right step so that you'll be able to achieve it at the end of the day. Yes, thank you.
Okay, we are approaching the end of the year, and the new year is just a few days away. And we grew up always having people talk about New Year resolutions.
Yes.
In fact, I was one of those people that would write it down and I'll say, this year I'm not going to. Now, would you say, or what's the difference between New Year resolutions and setting goals? Because sometimes people carry it together, thinking they are two. What's the difference between those two?
So in terms of New Year resolution is basically what you look into in the previous year that is not actually, or that has not worked out for you, one, or something that you have tried to achieve that you are unable to, and you are trying to begin to kick off as quickly as possible in the forthcoming year. So New Year resolution can be in the area of habits. There are cases where people have been involved in several habits in the previous year and they said, I don't want to do this in this coming year. Yes, it could be, it's also in line with setting of goals. But when it talks about New Year resolution, it's something you have made up your mind that in this forthcoming year, this is what I am trying to kick off with. And if you're unable to do that, then you might not be able to achieve the goals that you have set. So it's possible, it can be the first quarter of the year, something that you want to achieve, and it's something that is spontaneous as quickly as possible. As quickly as the first month, you're already seeing results. But setting of goals can come over and over. You can come even in the middle of the year. You can set goals at any time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Can goals be set and be achieved? Just like you said, like can come at, from time to time. Can all goals be achieved?
Okay, that's a
Human thinking.
very big question.
Because sometimes you look at the spiritual way too,
Yes.
but humanly thinking, can all goals be achievable?
So like you once introduced, you say I'm a man of the word. So I'm always the type that try to bring up the foundation from the word. And if we look at Luke 14:28 to 30, it talks about who we try to build without first counting the cost. So if you are trying to achieve something, okay, like now you say you want to build a house in 2024, and yet you don't have 50% of the money in 2023. You don't know where you are going to sort out for the money to build a house. You don't even have a description of exactly where you want to purchase the land, and you say you want to achieve that goal. That such a goal is going to be a mirage. You will not be able to achieve such goals. So that's why I mentioned earlier that it must be time bound. It must be something that you have envisaged. In fact, it must start with the previous year. You must look at what you have been able to achieve in the previous year and then it spills into the new year. Like we saw normally in business world, the first quarter of the year is always what has been spilled from the last quarter of the previous year. Most times it's very difficult to bring in new orders, new sales, but it comes from what they have been able to, the kind of networking they have been able to, and then things that are already in the pipeline that they were unable to achieve. These are the things they bring into the table in the first quarter of the year.
Okay, I would like you to emphasize on what's the importance of setting goals, because we are approaching the year and a whole lot of people will be saying, I can just wake up today and do something. And that's why we have so many unfinished projects. Somebody is doing this one and then you hear Mr. A doing this, you jump. And so what's the importance of setting goals before the new year? Like this period, you sit down, you set your goal. What's the importance?
It's very important because man in itself, we are someone that tends to build, and everything has to do with projects. In fact, to me, I feel project management is one of the key areas, irrespective of your discipline, that you need to have. You need to have an understanding of. So when you are talking about importance of setting goals, even for those that are about to get married in 2024, you must have planned how the wedding will look like. Is it something small? Is it something big? And when you're talking about something big, then your pocket must also be big. And then looking at the economy situation right now, people leaving the system, going out and all that, and then you now having to say, okay, what's my plan? Some people's plan for 2024 is to Japan. That is their plan.
That's just the goals they are
That's
setting.
just their. In fact, I will make the money as quickly as possible
And just
and
leave.
move. So even in doing that, there are also things that you need to put in place. If you don't have a passport, then you need to get a passport. Then you must validate all documents. You must be a lot of things. Even where you are going to, you must have put one or two things. Even when you feel you don't have anybody there, you must sort out agents that can assist you with the work you are going to start with over there. So it is very, very important going into the new year to set goals. Like when you talk about in career paths, everyone wants to scale up. And in so doing, you must learn new skills. You must take up new responsibilities. In fact, I've learned over the years that you don't run away from responsibility, especially when you are trying to get, to another level in your career path. You must be ready to acquire more responsibility.
Okay, you must be ready to acquire more responsibilities and also learn new skills.
Yes.
On that note, we'll be going for the short break. Pastor Mrs. Omokorede Fashoro. She is ILO certified trainer and coach. She's the president of Women of Essence, and she has done a great deal, when it comes to set. She loves this topic, like, hey, this woman can set. She speaks about it. So can we be connected to Pastor Mrs. Omokorede Fashoro? Good morning, ma, even though it's midnight in Canada right
Good
now.
morning. Good morning, Olori. How are you?
Merry Christmas, ma. Merry Christmas.
I hope you can hear me
How
well.
are you? We can hear you loud and clear. I believe so, Joy.
Yes, I can.
We can hear you loud and clear. You're live in Galaxy TV right now. And we're so delighted to have you.
much.
Compliment of the season to you.
I wish you the same. I wish
Okay,
you the
ma.
same.
Setting
Good morning
goals.
to Joy.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Pastor.
So setting goals, Pastor. Let me just put it out to you. Setting goals. I know it's one of your beautiful rendition when it comes to topics like this. So, what is your view about setting goals? What comes to your mind when you want someone to understand what it means to set goals?
Okay. Thank you very much once again, Olori, for having me. Like you said, it's a topic I'm particularly very, very passionate about because I have tasted it, handled it, put it to practice. taught people around me, especially my family, my children, and I've seen the amazing results when we take time to set goals. So I would not say too much from what Mr. David has already said. He's talked about the importance of taking time to set what we call SMART goals. Goals are basically, things we want to do, that we want to happen in the future, but it's not just something we just desire, but something we take time out to plan for. And that's why the idea, what he talked about earlier on using the acronym SMART, is something you want to do that is specific, that is not just vague, okay? Something that is measurable so that you can know when you actually achieve it. For instance, if I say I have a goal to save a certain amount of money and you don't put an amount to it, it's kind of vague. And then it's something that is attainable or achievable, something that is realistic. And of course, it has a time frame, saying that before so and so time, these are the things that I want to see. So goal setting is a skill we all must have and put to practice in our lives, because it helps you, it gives your life focus, it removes distraction, it helps you to know what you need to concentrate your time, your effort, your resources on. And, at the end of the period, maybe the year, you can look back and actually have a sense of fulfillment that you've been able to achieve some things right through the time period. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor, for that wonderful one. But I would like to ask, are certain goals that are set by individuals have priorities over others? Are they? I'm talking based on the fact that we have some individuals who set goals according to other people's goals, not according to their own goals. So how would you address such cases, and how would you make them understand that they should set their own individual goals and placing it according to their personal priorities, not based on what they are hearing other people set or do?
Fantastic. The foundation of goal setting begins with having a sense of self-discovery or vision, personal vision. I'm talking about setting personal goals now, because goal setting also goes beyond the personal life. In your business, you must set goals. In your organization, you must set goals. But we're talking about personal goal setting now. So the foundation is for you to know where you are going. So the moment you have a picture of where you are going, for instance, if I say I'm going to Abuja, traveling from Lagos to Abuja, and someone next to me has no plan to go to Abuja, but he or she wants to go to maybe Maiduguri or Sokoto or Ekiti State, it will be very weird or strange for me to jump on the same track with the person going to Ekiti State. Why? Because I know where I'm going. And so definitely my goals will align with the vision that I have for my life. Or let me put it a better way, the vision that I believe God has put in my heart for me to accomplish. Okay, so it's about knowing who you are, knowing where you're going, knowing what you're pursuing. It's okay to learn from others, but life is a personal journey. You need to know your own, know yourself, know where you're going, and then you set your goals in line with that personal vision.
Okay, because this is family and values, we take family very, very seriously. Anything that has to do with families, because if you preview to listen to words that came from the interview you listened to before we started the program by late Felix Iwere and Dr. Kolade then.
Yeah.
You will listen to how family has lost so much when it comes to values.
Yeah.
Now, I'll bring it home now. As a father and a mother in the home, apart from coming together to set a goal for the family, is it right for the wife to also set a goal for herself without the husband's knowledge, and the husband to set a goal for himself without the wife's knowledge? How do we place that now?
Fantastic. You've made it quite simple. We're talking about family. And we know that family is a unit made up of the father, the mother, the children, all coming together in unity to form an indivisible segment of society. You know what I talked earlier on, I was talking mainly about your personal goal your personal goals as an individual. Of course, we have the family goals, and for there to be unity, within the family, your goals must align. Let me make it clearer. For instance, if I think Mr. David spoke earlier on that some people probably have the goal to japa. You're a husband, you want to japa, and you are leaving out your wife or the children. They're not a party to it. That would be irresponsible. So whatever it is that you are pursuing as a goal, the moment you are a part of the larger unit, you are a father based on your role in that family, whether you're a father, your mother, it has to align with the family goals, the family vision. If not, there will be chaos. Now, bringing it home to what you said about the women, you already introduced me as someone, by His grace, I also run an organization called Women of Essence, so I'm very passionate about women empowerment. Now, let's create a balance. We're not saying that as a woman, because you are a mother, you're a wife, you're married to your husband, you can't have your personal desires, personal dreams, expectations that you have. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying whatever it is that we have must align. It's alignment we're talking about with the bigger goals of your family. So I hope that has been able to clarify that.
Yes.
In any family, there must be an alignment. There must be, we have to work in unity.
Okay, Pastor, I would like to ask this question quickly before we let you go. Now, in a situation where you've set your own personal goals and along the line into the year, middle of the year, you discover that it's not actually what you wanted, and you're trying to make a U-turn. Now, you've gone way into the year, probably spent money. How do you retrieve your steps back to that point where you return back to the masterpiece to start all over again?
Yeah. I think the first speaker already talked about the need to do like a review. Maybe I would say quarterly, after like 3 months, go back. What have I set to do? How far have I gone? How well am I doing? Is this actually what I want? And then, of course, you can review, and there's nothing wrong with re-strategizing. For instance, let me give an example. Assuming I say, by the end of December 2024, I want to have saved, 2 million naira, 1 million naira, just as an example. And then, like we all experienced last year, I'm involved in the running of a school, 2 schools. And as we know, in the middle of second term, the price of fuel suddenly went up by 500%. Do you remember? We were buying petrol at a certain amount to run the school, and then suddenly it went on to like 500 plus, sometimes 600 plus that we get. So in that situation, we didn't have any control over that. So at such a time, the immediate thing we had to do was to begin to re-strategize. So even in your personal life, once you've gone along and you are reviewing and you say, this is what I'm planning, but based on certain demands that have come up, I don't think I can make it 2 million again. Maybe I reduce it. I can re-strategize, go back to the drawing board. Let me add something, that it's not just to set goals that matters. Setting goals must also include having a plan. Because if you set goals without a plan, you are just daydreaming. And I think that is the mistake many of us made in the past. When you talked earlier on about New Year resolution, many times we've made a New Year resolution. This year I'm going to do this, without a plan. So what makes a goal effective is that you take that goal and then you break it down in, you have a plan. What will I do daily, monthly, weekly, daily, for this goal to be accomplished? So when you have that plan, and you got into a point, maybe after a few months, and you want to review, just go back and review that plan. Go back and do that review, and it doesn't mean you have failed. If at the end of the year, you are not able to save 2 million, but you're able to save 100,000 or 120,000, you have still made a success. you know,
Thank you.
so
Thank you so very much, Pastor. It's so good to have you, and we hope to see you subsequent editions of Family and Values. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you so much for having me. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Okay, so I would like to return back to you, and we had listened to what Pastor said, and in similar with what we had earlier talked about. I would like to paint a scenario where a woman wants to set her career goals, and she feels like this year I want to add to my degrees, and financially she's not buoyant to carry on that journey, and knowing too well that it's something that will boost her career and increase her finances, but then the husband is saying no, pause on this, let's face this direction. Now, how do you marry the two together so that there's no clash in the family? Now, we are talking about setting family goals now. How do you marry both? And also, in a situation where parents want to change school, we've had a situation, one partner is saying, I don't love the school, let's move the kids to this other school. And the man is saying, I'm not financially buoyant to cater for the school. So how do you marry such situations so that there's no chaos or conflict in the family while we are still achieving our goals that we are setting?
Okay, thank you very much. It's a very vital question. And what I want to start going back to the scripture. In Amos 3 verse 3, he said, can two work together? I said they be agreed. So the first thing is open communication between the husband and the wife. When a woman has a goal to achieve, when both of them are already in agreement, so there is always going to be, just like our speaker, the pastor mentioned about having a plan. So there must be a plan that must be brought to the table by both individuals. Now there is a roadblock, and the roadblock is in the area of finance. You don't have what it takes. Now, how much are both of you earning? That's the first thing. So for you to achieve what you want to do, first you look at what you are earning. One, what are you doing to get to the next level? Because the more you climb, the more you be more financially buoyant to attain or to achieve several of your goals. That is one aspect of it. Then what are the alternatives? There are a lot of free courses. So most people are always talking about having degrees. Even I myself, even though I am a master's holder in computer systems, yet I'm trying to still go ahead to have an MBA. But I look at it currently and also put my family into consideration. If I'm going to do this, how is it going to bounce back on the family? So when I look at it, I say, okay, for now, I might not be able to attain this now. But what I can do is to see if I can obtain some certifications that can also complement what I'm doing and that can help me scale up in terms of skills. Then in the area of the children, I'm trying to get that question once again. You mentioned something.
I'm talking based on schools.
Okay, yes.
Choosing schools.
Choosing schools.
Okay.
This particular partner is saying, I don't love this one, I want to move them to this one.
So it's not really a matter of I love or I love. Okay. It's a matter of what do you have and what has the school got to offer.
Okay.
Probably the standard is not high and you want to change.
You want to change. Okay, so now it still goes down to the area of finance, like I said. So because if you are trying to move a child to a school where they have all it takes to equip that child ahead, then you must be ready to open your bank check. You know, I've seen cases where parents, in fact, in many cases, parents had to go through sacrifices. I will put myself or use myself as a case study. Once when I finished my degree, that was in 2009, I tried to source to gain work experience, which was not forthcoming. As we know, in the case of the Nigerian system, it's not that easy for a fresh graduate. At least you must either have something, maybe a 1 year internship somewhere, which I did not have up to a year. So it was very difficult. And along the line, I spoke to my parents That is why it's good. It's always, I appreciate when both the father and the mother is available. You know, sometimes, and I'm sure that is another topic for another day, where you have just one person doing everything. So, but in this case, I approached my father and told him that this is what I'm trying to achieve. I want to go for my master's and that. He said, okay, let's see how it goes. But he was not able to come up with everything. And at that moment, I turned to my mom, and she was like, okay, let's see what we can do. Mothers are always, you know, that's why we have both in the family.
Yeah.
The father is structured in a particular way, and the mother has a way of looking at a challenge. They look at it outside the box, critically. And then she came up with a plan, and within a year, I was already doing my master's. So it was something it's something that I really appreciate both of them, because they are both come together in terms of, even when they are facing some financial constraints, they don't really bring it to the table of the children. They don't allow the children to feel it. They are the one going, knowing how they source this to ensure that these children get what they want. Now, in the area of schools, changing of schools and all, when you look at the area of the finance, if it's something that can be achievable in terms of setting of goals, if it's something that can be achievable at that particular point in time, fine. If not, because to me, as a man, you call the wife, come, what do you have? What do I have? Is he able to take this child from these children from this particular school to this school? If you say no, okay, can we put a 2-year plan and see how we can save, why we skill up, why we source for other ways or other jobs that can give us more pay.
Okay, now I want to ask this final question for this episode before you leave us. Looking at it, family, how should the mother and the father bring the setting of goals into the home, and allowing, also making it a reference point for the children? We want to set our goals for this family. How should it be outlined?
Okay, now looking back at the acronym SMART that I mentioned earlier, every goal must be realistic. You know, sometimes when the father and mother try to achieve something and they do it at the expense of their children, they end up, it all goes bizarre. It ends up in disarray. And then we have seen cases where a father takes up loan, build houses, make the wife and the children so comfortable, and right there he was not even communicating, so no one knows what is going on, and he end up giving up, losing his life at that case. And at that moment, he has left both the wife and the children in debt. And then they begin to, some of them even said, I don't know which kind of father he is. And to the father, he
was trying his
best.
Sure
but the truth is that you have to carry everyone along.
So how should we align it?
Okay, so how to align both? Habakkuk 2 verse 2 talks about writing a vision and making it plain. Make it plain, let it be on the table, so that everyone can see it. It must be something that is transparent to everyone. In the scripture, it talks that both Adam and Eve were both naked and they were not ashamed. So that means, and that area of being naked is not talking about just physical nakedness, it's talking about transparency. And that's the reason why when they fell, both of them were involved. They cannot hide from each other that this person does not know. And that's where the area of trust must come in. Most of the issues that we are facing in families, even in the area of setting goals, is the area of trust. You don't even know what your partner is earning. That's an issue.
Do you think it's advisable for me to open my payment, my payslip to my husband? Many find it difficult to do that. So
okay, so
that's a topic for another day.
But you know, because Olori asked the question that had to do with family, so okay. I want you in 2 minutes to quickly, at what stage can partners set goals for their children? because it's important we start teaching them to set their own goals and work with it. That's academic goals, spiritual goals, all around. So at what stage in family can you call your kids and say, okay, get a pen, get a paper, this is from this point to this point in this year, this should be achieved?
Okay. So I will also go back to the scripture. Genesis 18 verse 19 talks about Abraham. He said God told Abraham, and he was able to make that declaration before all men. He said, I know him that he will teach his children and his children's children. So to me, when it talks about setting goals for children, it's from the onset.
Okay.
For somebody like me, I've been trained on how to save as early as possible. In fact, I bought my first mobile phone myself.
Wow.
Within the first year of school. In fact, the first time I had a phone was when I finished secondary school, and at that time it was this touchlight phone. And
I can relate to that.
And I was so appreciative of it. So, despite the fact that I went to a private school, even though it was not my intention and not my dad. My dad never really have interest in that, but circumstances, when you look here, jam and all that, this child just have to go to school. So, and that's one of the sacrifices I was talking about earlier. So he did that, but I was a kind of child that I would say, they can't do this, and I will still be pestering them for some little thing. So I learned how to save, and it has helped me thus far.
So
and I'm sure
train our children the way they should grow,
saving.
And when they grow up, they will know how to walk around it.
So that's one aspect. Why the second side I will also mention is that it's also good for parents to start saving up for children.
Parents start saving up for children. Okay. Thank you so very much, David. It's so good to have you. We've been talking with David Olumewa, and our Zoom guest was Pastor Mrs. Omokurede Fashora. We really appreciate. What's the name of that program you're coming up with? Admonition?
Statements of admonition.
Aha. So watch out for statements of admonition, and I will carry you along, don't worry. So on that note, I want to say a big thank you as you begin to set your goals into 2024. This is the right time for you to know where you have missed it, where you've gotten it right or wrong, and where you have dropped it along the way. You can always pick it up and do a review and know where and how you'll be able to do it. My name is Remain Olori AJ. I hope to see you tomorrow, Thursday. And I told you, the Zoom guest was having a touch of yellow. So the yellow still continues. Joy.
Of course, we all had a touch of yellow today to tell you how bright your new year is going to be. Setting goals is one topic I'm always very, very particular about, because a whole lot of us misplace our priorities as we approach the new year. So that's why we are bringing this beforehand, so you would have plans and write it down. It's important to make your goals plain, put it down, and so that you run with it. Okay, tomorrow is Healthy Thursday. Like on Family and Values, we do talk about health so that we'll keep you fit. And as we're approaching the new year, we need you to be sound all around. Please stream across all our social media platforms. Go to our Instagram page, follow us, turn on your notification button so that you don't miss topics like this, and have our guests give you all the insightful thoughts that you need. We'll see you tomorrow. My name is Joy Abu. Bye.
There are units that make up this thing we call Nigeria. The basic